A few months ago, I covered the Noxus boss mod. Well, the mod got an update. I wonder, what did this update bring? New title screen, new subworld, new seed, new events, new items, new memes, and of course, a new boss. There's a good few things I want to cover, including a full run-through of the fight, so let's get started. It's time to cover the content surrounding the newest Calamity add-on boss on the block, Nameless Deity. The first time you'll likely see this boss is in a special dream sequence, where Nameless tells you how to reach it, by killing Noxus. When you damage Noxus sufficiently, Nameless decides to intervene and help you out, which, you know, what a guy. And this is where the good stuff begins. Oh right, summon item. Though it cannot be used until Noxus is downed, the Terminus is how you reach Nameless. You can find it in the usual Abyss chest, next to the terminal. Well, I mean, with the Terminus having a changed functionality, you need something to be able to start boss rush, right? With the Terminus, you can now access the subworld that you'll need to fight the boss. The Twisted Garden. Or the Eternal Garden, either works. What I'd recommend doing when you first get here is just running around and admiring the view. It's really quite pretty, but I'm sure you know why we're here. To summon forth the Nameless Deity, stand in front of the good apple tree and await your fate. You will be tested. This fight is at endgame tier, post-Supreme Calamitous and Exomex, and, of course, Noxus. I'll be using a relatively balanced endgame build, so as to showcase every part of the fight to a sufficient degree. Anywho, I ain't gonna ruin the brilliant sound design of this thing, so I'll see you all when this is over. After Nameless has been defeated, you can go back in your world and claim your loot. Defeating it for the first time will also unlock that title screen. Now that the biggest part of the update, the fight itself, is out of the way, let's cover all the other items and features, starting with Nameless's drops. Relic, the Xerox sigil. Mask, it's yeah, no face for you. Trophy, it's the cheat permission slip, the item that all Tmod players have been lacking all these years. Finally, y'all, we have divine permission to cheat. Divine wings with infinite flight and a cool little visual effect. The rock. Don't worry, the boss rush one got replaced with something better. The numinous die. A die. It dies. Two pets, the starseed and the black hole. It's the sun and a black hole. The black hole even warps the screen around it, how neat's that? The deific touch, which gives your mouse a neat vanity effect. The divine monolith, or if you ever want that neat spacey background elsewhere. The Purifier. Now, this one's an interesting item. After throwing it and waiting a little bit, the bomb will completely reset your entire world to what it was when you generated it. This takes a while, but don't worry, elevator music and some fun Terraria facts are there to keep you well entertained. And now for my two personal favourite drops. The cattail. It places a cattail. It doesn't really do anything, it's oh. Well, that's quite the fanfare. And of course, the lore item. It's actually just absolute nonsense. But no, every Nameless lore, every Zoor is personalized. The lore will randomize itself every 22 days and is uniquely generated based on Steam ID. This is currently mine, but it'll change soon enough. Now for the rest of the items that aren't drops from Nameless. You may have noticed when the fight starts that the good apple tree drops its apples. Well, if you choose to consume the apples, you gain 1 extra life. Permanently. Without a limit.
Was that the bite of 87?
Delectable. The Midnight Monolith added to Noxus's loot pool. Similar to the one from Nameless, it just lets you view that background effect anytime. Entropic Die, also from Noxus. It dies. Noxus lore. It don't get better than this, folks. And finally, Zenkita Thralienser. Sorry for pronouncing it correctly, but yeah, you'll find that somewhere. You'll find it, don't worry. Probably. Well, that wraps up all the items, so let's move on to the other content. Now here's an interesting feature. The Noxus World Seed, created by typing in Darkness Falls. In this seed, the world is in a constant state of darkness, in an infinite Noxus eclipse. While the seed doesn't have a lot going on, like, say, for the worthy, it has wonderful surface visuals and the fog event, which can happen at random. This is something that is best experienced by yourself, but let me just say, I'm not a horror game person. While testing this, I properly jumped in my chair. It's not okay. It's absolutely terrifying. Please try it out. Well, that just about wraps up the update, I think, aside from some small details which are best discovered on your own. This mod is fun. I'm totally not biased in saying you should try it out now. The link to the mod is in the description. Play it, have a blast, have a ball. Good night, fellows and folks.